Uncovering the most guarded methods of martial arts. This is Ancient Martial Arts Revealed.
Hi, Alan Ondash here with a short tutorial on white crane concepts. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the fact that white crane style uses a lot of very explosive waist power as well as stationary, tilting, and sinking power. These powers are executed from very narrow, low-held stances, typical of those found in ancient styles that were practiced on boats, stumps, and other confining apparatus. To better understand a few crucial elements of white crane, it may be necessary to view my videos on external, internal, stationary, and tilting powers. But even if you view these other videos and completely comprehend their contents, white crane will still be an elusive creature without many years of unsentimental practice under the guidance of a well-qualified teacher. That said, I'm going to take a simpler route here and just tutor you on some little-known theories involving white crane practice. When you see someone who is truly proficient at white crane style, you'll often hear the bones in their hands making audible snapping noises as they strike. Some believe these noises are simply the product of many years of soft style practice and that the resulting power is mediocre at best. But the truth is that such noises are evident because there are no muscular inhibitions along the strike path. In other words, the power remains uninterrupted from the ground all the way to the hand. It is this, along with focus, that makes these strikes more powerful than most punches. Now, even though there are a few out there whose hands are noisier than mine, these noises pretty much sound like this. Or this. Alright, now let's talk about how those snapping noises are achieved. The point at which the waist has traveled so far that it has no choice but to begin retracting is called the apex. Nearly all white crane strikes, especially those that imitate wing flapping or wingtip striking, release their power at the moment of retraction, or just after the apex. This type of movement can be likened to snapping a wet towel, whereby you would yank backwards on it right before impact in order to get that snap. In fact, snapping a wet towel is a good way to practice the timing for this type of striking, because if the towel is snapping at the right time, then realistically, so is your arm. Next, I want to talk about using the proper type of rifling when executing certain white crane style strikes. Some strikes hit upwards with the fingers like this, but this type of striking often has too much upward swing. The hand needs to stay on top of the strike plane throughout the entire movement, just like it does on this board, which by the way is a good way to practice this particular type of rifling. Now, listen to the difference between these two. The swing up and the proper slide up. Finally, I'd like to discuss a type of white crane style slapping that looks something like this. This is a very powerful strike that depends on extremely fast wrist action in order for it to be effective. The biggest problem plaguing most practitioners is that they will snap their wrist back while their hand passes through a strike window that is much too wide. This will create little or no explosiveness when executed. To get the proper amount of power, the strike window must be narrowed so that the snapping motion happens almost instantaneously. One of the best ways to achieve this is to practice slapping water like the ancients did. But if you don't feel like flooding the living room, you can actually draw a narrow window on a wall and then practice getting the snapping part of the maneuver to stay inside of it, even though your arm may continue to travel a little bit past the window. Now let's give this one a listen. There you have it. After you get the timing down, you could practice conditioning on a heavy jute carpet or similar surface. I'm Alan Ondash. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to check out my other videos, my free apps from iTunes, and my book, The Paper Tigers, the most informative and brutally honest martial arts book of all time. Available wherever fine books are sold, or get it from the source at thetigersark.com.